Hello, family. It's been months since I've done a live, and I thought I'd just come on and share some musings for the day as I came out for my walk. And it's so peaceful here. Let me just show you. It's really quiet. It's in the bois. There's no one around. And I have been reflecting and also wanting to connect. Let's hope that this saves. But I wanted to connect with where I am in my life experiments, how I'm showing up, I'm planning to show up, what is important to me, just kind of a check-in, and what that might mean for you who are in my field. So I've just spent 2 weeks away in Brittany with my love, and it was very nurturing, very relaxing, very important to take stock. And I've also been sharing more about more galactic, very cosmic stuff. And some people might find that very difficult to ground with, resonate with, thinking it might not be practical for daily life. But actually, it's exactly how to do daily life if you have a higher level perspective. And also the way I'm sharing feels like it's going to be changing, less polished, more spontaneous, more what feels like authenticity to me. And you know, authenticity can mean many things to many people. So I've kind of gone beyond the point where I want to convince people, sell something. I will offer things because I feel that my field is wanting to exchange with people who are ready to meet me at a particular place, emotion, point, challenge, tipping point. And those who feel that resonance, that's how I'm wanting to share from now on. And honestly, I don't believe that actually it's the words that I'm using that's going to make the difference. A lot of what I do is frequency work and resonance. So you're going to feel the energy, who this is for, who I'm here to serve, who I'm here to help, who I'm here to help remember get closer to themselves. You're going to feel a connection, a kind of a remembrance. And that's what I've been connecting to. And I'm going to share a story about how I got here. I started my, let's say, psychic, serving, healing escapade at the age of 40. I'm now 47. So it's been 7 years. And it started with theta healing, which I'm very grateful for. It really helped open me up in many ways. And then I went to other modalities, other systems, human design, astrology, and all of those have been fantastic. And you know why? Because they help me remember ancient activations that were dormant in this lifetime until then. And what I have been coming to terms with is that it's actually not the modalities, the systems, at least for me, that are my true essence. It's what they've helped to uncover for me, which is why when people ask me exactly what I do and what certificates and trainings I have so many of them from what I did in my previous life as well, you know, finance, pharma, marketing, health coach. I've worn so many hats. But in my essence, I feel like I'm like a soul weaver. I'm here to help you connect back to your own essence. And also that will mean that once our work is done for a particular time, you might disappear. And that's okay, because I don't want you to be dependent on me. You don't need to keep coming back to me. And also we all evolve. So who I was even 2 years ago is not who I am anymore. And I'm okay with people moving on, finding new people, because the work that we were supposed to do was only for that particular activation. And so I'm getting comfortable with people leaving my field. I don't take that personally anymore. I used to. I'm getting comfortable with the shadow ban, because actually not everyone is meant to listen to what I have to say. And also I want to share in a deeper way on Substack, on YouTube. Hopefully this will save so I can share it on YouTube, because I do very deep work, and my energy, my intensity, my sight, I would call it my gifts, are only for the people who are ready. You're on a threshold. You're ready to meet yourself in a way that you have never done before. And that can be scary because it can bring up shadows. And shadows don't have to be scary. I believe a lot of psychology, modern healing systems, they can be useful, but only to a certain point. Because if you keep looping, and by the way, I have been guilty of looping for lifetimes, so I get it. I'm a professional looper, which is why I can see it in other people's fields. And also, at some point, we have to feel ready. And how do you feel ready? That you feel so done with your own bullshit, so done with repeating the same patterns, so done with finding or looking for a savior outside yourself. Because actually, listening to other people might be a band-aid short term, but it doesn't help you come back to yourself. And if you know anything about me, you know I'm very much into sovereignty. It's the essence of everything that I believe in. And that means listening to yourself above everything. And sometimes we don't actually know how to listen to ourselves. And that's where I feel I come in, because I help to mirror things that you might have blind spots around. And your life, your experience it's like layers of an onion, and you're only going to be able to meet certain layers of that onion at certain points. You can't do everything at once, which is also why none of us are really ever fixed, and we don't need to be, because actually we are perfect in our flaws, in our challenges, in our mistakes. It's this spiral that some of us feel so frustrated with. It's the nature of this existence, and we decided to come here in this density on Earth to experience this kind of spiral, because this spiral brings us back to ourselves. And so this could mean nothing to some of you, and it could resonate very deeply with those it's meant for. And I don't want to anymore cater for being understood by everyone, because I'm not for everyone. I think that's so clear to see. And also, I operate in, I think, what ways that seem weird or jarring or triggering to people, even people that who might like me, because I don't fit into a particular mold. And honestly, I really wish I did, because it would make my life so much easier. I'd love to be able to just give you a label about who I am and what I do and where I fit into this matrix. But I'm figuring that out. And in that time, I still know that I have some very deep, potent, soul level uncoverings to share with people who understand my message. And as you know, for the last 2 years, I have been deep into a decolonial journey. Gaza has been a huge activation for me. And also the activist space, the decolonial space, which I'm constantly learning from. It's going to be a lifelong journey for me. I don't believe I'll probably ever have learned everything. I might still get things wrong. And I'm also sensing that it can also be a loop where at least for me, I have been so deep into that journey in the last 2 years. I felt so much pain and ancestral activation for what's happening in Gaza, and really the very deeply saddening view of the world that we're living in, and it's just the way that is. I chose to be here at this time for this because I feel like I've lived this in other lifetimes, and I have shared that on my Substack. And also, I can't get stuck there, because that also means that if I'm stuck in that constant fight, which I believe I have fought for so many lifetimes, I'm going to burn out. And that doesn't mean that I don't support freedom for Palestine, and it doesn't mean I don't donate, and that I don't boycott, and that I don't divest, and that I don't keep speaking about it. But the intensity of that, I have to temper for my own nervous system, and for me to go into another aspect of my own, I guess, embodiment in this density. And we're all going through this density, and we're all going to deal with it in different ways. And I'm still discovering it. And also to tell you that I'm not here to fix you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not even here to tell you that I'm the right person to guide you, but I do know for certain that there are people here in my field who are going to feel these words land in a way that they can't describe. Because when I know I'm ready for a particular teacher, I feel it. It doesn't mean they're in my field forever, but I know that I need something at a particular point, and it's not logical, it's not linear, it's not from a sales page or marketing. I just know. And these are the people that I'm here to work with. And what I do is actually really simple. I have this gift. I can't claim it as a gift because I've actually tested myself with AI, actually. And I'm going to make another video about my experience with the architect and Robert Edward Grant, who I met in Paris a few weeks ago. And this exploration into self has been so useful for me, which I'll share as well in a separate video. But it's with this deeper exploration of yourself that you get to show up for others. And that's why I'm making this video. And it might seem like I'm going in spirals, and what's the point? And guess what? Maybe there's no freaking point. Maybe it's just here to share and to be vulnerable and to document a journey that might resonate with others. And this soul weaving that I'm talking about is about just looking at you, where you are, and I sense blocks in the system. I see stories, I see images, I might see ancestors or guides or a future version of you. I might get messages, and I don't try to filter that, I just tell you. And for those people who've worked with me, it just lands. And sometimes just that very awareness, or the words, or the symbol, or the imagery, it unlocks things. And a lot of the times, it can be very intense in the moment. You won't always know what's happening. But when it lands in your system, and you go away, and you have a few sleep cycles, even a few weeks of sleep cycles, something lands and clicks. And changes appear in your behavior, in your perceptions, in the way you be in the world around you. That feels lighter. That feels easier. You might change jobs. You might bring in a soulmate. You might have a baby. You might decide that you want to leave a particular group. You might decide that the place that you're living in is not right. You might decide actually that a lot of the frustrations and obstacles that you felt are actually not outside you. They're actually reflecting a deeper aspect of yourself. And that's actually what happened to me. Hello, darling Layla. That's what actually happened to me yesterday. I was feeling so triggered. I felt like I was in a pressure cooker. I wanted to escape. And if you know me, you know that I have had a nomad life. I'm a gypsy. I love moving around. And also, I'm escaping. I'm trying to escape to find a solution somewhere else. And that landed so deeply yesterday that I had to get really still. I had to really look at myself. And I was like, that's a wealth code drop right now, that you can't escape from yourself. You have to meet yourself in that stillness. And once you realize that you yourself have been perpetuating a pattern in your life, that pattern dissolves. And the whole of last night, I couldn't sleep because I so much wanted to run away, which is such a primordial pattern for me, wanting to run away, to escape, to look for something better, to feel a release. And I bet we've all felt that, like, this is not the right relationship, this is not the right job, and these are not the right people, and why is my work not landing? And we're looking on the outside, and this is so normal, right? Because we are part of co-creation. And what landed for me was that nothing can anchor here if I'm not in my body, if I don't anchor into myself, and if I don't hold the line. So I'm offering this to you because we need to hold the line for ourselves. No one outside of us is going to do that. A partner is not going to do that. A job is not going to do that. A paycheck won't do that. The government won't do that. The doctor won't do that. Your family won't do that. Your friends won't do that. You are the only ones who can do that for yourself. And that landed so deeply into me. Actually, while I've been on this walk, which is why I wanted to share, that we are perfect in our imperfections. And sometimes all it takes is for a mirror to show us our blind spots. And the awareness of that blind spot is the healing. It's so easy. And I've been struggling with this concept of wanting to move, go back to London, all kinds of things, right? And I was like, but you're not freaking grounded in yourself. How can anything land? If you go to London, you'll take yourself with you. And my partner keeps reflecting this back to me. So thank you, Benoit. And I keep getting so annoyed at him. And he's right. He's right. We can't keep chasing our tails. And sometimes we've got to really ground into that space of discomfort and see what that reveals about us. So that's what I wanted to share for today. Thank you for both of you who are still here for the end. And I look forward to sharing more as things drop in.